Samantha's fingers punched relentlessly at the typewriter keys. A furrow of concentration formed between her dark eyebrows, and the line of her mouth was grim with determination. Regardless of her efforts, she couldn't achieve any speed with the manual typewriter. She might as well have been pecking the keys with one finger. Her little finger missed the A in Yale, and the typed word became Yule. Sighing impatiently, Samantha reached for the eraser, nearly worn out from frequent use. The image of the sleek electric typewriter at home flitted wistfully through her mind. If only she could bring it to work, she thought, and immediately shelved the idea. An expensive model like that would raise too many eyebrows and too many questions. The eraser gouged a hole in the paper, completely obliterating the error. "Damn," Samantha muttered in exasperation, and ripped the sheet from the carriage. "Problems?" The question was loaded with good-natured ribbing. Samantha shot the dark-haired girl a quelling look. "None that a little manual dexterity wouldn't cure. Why don't you lend me some of yours, Beth? You can afford it." The snappish reply carried a trace of envy. There wasn't a machine in the place that Beth couldn't operate with lightning speed and efficiency. It didn't matter whether it was a manual or an electric typewriter, a copy machine, or the teletype in the adjoining newswire room. "Poor Sammy," Beth laughed. "Why don't you try the one-finger hunt and peck method? Mr. Lindsay has used it for years," referring to their mutual boss and the owner-editor of the newspaper. "This is one reporter who's going to be a speedy typist, even if I have a mental breakdown first." Samantha grimaced, but her sense of humor had returned, however wryly. "What are you working on?" Beth ignored the comment except for a faintly sympathetic smile that touched her lips. "I'm not busy. Maybe I can type it for you?" "No, thanks." Samantha shook her head firmly, thick, luxurious, seal-brown hair rippling about her shoulders. "It's the around and about column. It's so dull you'd fall asleep before you were half done. I wish Mr. Lindsay would let me spice it up a bit." She quickly corrected her near reference to their boss by his first name. Beth wrinkled her nose. "How could you ever spice up that boring column? Mrs. Carmichael's daughter, Susan, was home for the weekend. Mr. and Mrs. Donald Bradshaw entertained guests from out of state." She irreverently mimicked the type of copy that appeared in the column. "It would be easy," Samantha asserted, "if I were allowed to do a little snooping. Take this item about Frank Howard, our esteemed attorney and Yale graduate, who had one of his former classmates spend the weekend. It just happens that this former classmate applied for the position of district school superintendent, and Frank Howard just happens to be chairman of the school board. Now, if that doesn't smack of political maneuvering and collusion, nothing does."